What's up, Star Wars fans? I'm Star Wars Only, and today I'm going to give you my review over Aftermath Empire's End, or even just Aftermath, the series itself. Now, if you don't know, Aftermath is the actual first trilogy of books that had been released for the new Star Wars canon. And I guess I'll just kind of tell you my opinions of it all. It was three books. There's Aftermath, Life, Death, and then Aftermath, Empire's End. And overall, it's okay. It's certainly not like the Darth Bane trilogy and the Old Republic trilogies. I think Tarkin is a new canon book, is a lot better. There's also one of my favorite books. I think my favorite book out of all Star Wars books is Darth Plagueis. That novel is still far better than this. But there is something that the Aftermath series has going for it, and this book, in my opinion, is the best book out of all of them. So I have some notes here on my phone that I'm just going to read out to you, so don't think I'm just sounding like a retard. But first, I put the start of the book instantly brings you back into the story, feeling like you've missed nothing, unlike the last book, which took a little to get into. And that's my problem, I will say, with the series, is the characters are almost very forgettable. I read the first book, and I kind of remember what it's about. It's basically introducing to the characters and everything, getting them all together as a group. And you do like some of the characters. My favorite is Sinjir. I think that's how you say his name. I just call him Sin 90% of the time. But Sinjir is my favorite character, and I really did enjoy that. And so this book instantly brought you into the characters. The last book was kind of like it took like a chapter or two where they were in a situation like escaping a imperial palace or something like that, and I didn't really like that. It was kind of annoying trying hard to get back into the characters. Like, man, who is this guy? John? What the fuck's his name again? Like, there are characters like that which took me a minute to remember and get used to and understand. Unlike this book, where it was instantly you came right back into it and you're like, oh wow, I remember these guys now and I know their entire personality, which was nice. And it touched on some cool things, like Chewbacca has a son, which was pretty interesting. It kind of the same son that you saw in the holiday special, just with a different name, I think. The Jar Jar story actually killed the Jar Jar is a Sith myth, in my opinion, or theory. I always thought it was a stupid but kind of cool thing. And it basically just talks about how Jar Jar is a clown on Naboo and becomes friends with some kid who's got a disability and is an orphan. And that was interesting. The interludes were a lot better in this story than any of the other ones. The first one was okay at times. They had some good ones. I know I skipped over a couple of them because a lot of them didn't matter. And then the second one was the exact same. It had a little more interesting ones, seeing like Darth Vader's cult start up and everything. And that one actually came into the third one, and it was actually in the first one as well. So it was kind of cool how some of the interludes continued out throughout all three books throughout the trilogy. But this one, there wasn't a single interlude that I skipped. They were all really good. My favorite one I put down was it shows a religious conflict that there is in the Star Wars world and in the real world, because well, I mean, if I mean you live in the real world, there's a lot of people who are atheists and apatheists and Christians and whatnot, all these different kinds of people, and it shows that in this Star Wars novel, one of the interludes about these people putting the Kyber crystals back where they were belonging, but not fighting the monsters that are trying to kill them. And one person, he's the last one alive, and he realizes he screwed up and he didn't accept stuff and whatnot. And it was interesting because it does, in my opinion, it did show a good balance between the real world values and our world values of having that balance of religion on where to believe or not to believe, because I am a Christian, but I do question a lot of things in religion, but that's just how life is. And so I like how they kind of did this with the Force, and it's showing a lot of people are accepting of the Force, but there are those who question it, and that was shown in the interlude. It balances the politics really well. It wasn't too interesting in the politics side, but it kept it interesting enough with the characters that you follow. Because the main goal of the entire book was basically get Mon, God, the Chancellor, Mon, whatever her last name is, voted her vote to pass so so they can invade Jakku where the Empire was hiding out, and that was kind of cool having the Empire flee to Jakku, and you keep asking yourself why are they going here? They keep rebuilding Gallus Rax, Counselor Rax is whatever you call him. He's been kind of like the main guy throughout, the mysterious guy throughout the books. And in this book, you finally learn more about him, what he is, and what he's done, and it's very interesting. I've always said that mystery is a powerful tool that makes a character a lot more interesting and a lot better, and that's what they did with Rax. Is that you don't know anything about him, so he's really interesting. And once you learn about him in this book, you're like, oh wow, you kind of come to peace with it. It's not very disappointing. What was disappointing was they talked a lot about the observatory, and that's a huge part of this book. There's an observatory on Jakku, And Palpatine built it. Palpatine built it on many different planets, which is very interesting and very cool. Has old Sith artifacts and everything, and I like that. I like that aspect of it. But what's very disappointing in this book is what happens to the observatory. And spoiler alert, I really don't care. This book's been out for months. If I mean, you're not gonna watch the review if you don't want spoilers. So fuck you if you get mad about this. But the observatory is literally nothing. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like some weapon. It was gonna have some ancient Sith like teachings or book, and it really is just like a pathway to the core of the center of the Earth. Center of the planet of Jakku, and Tashu or whatever the hell his name is pushed down by Rax, and it destabilizes the core, and the planet's gonna blow up. That's kind of stupid in my opinion. I thought that was very disappointing, and yeah, and like I've said before, mystery is very powerful, and the mystery of that observatory was great, and I really wanted to know what it was about because I thought it was gonna be something amazing. And I was disappointed when the mystery was removed, and it turns out it was just something that goes to the core of the Earth. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was very stupid. But there are many other observatories. And it was very cool how they touched on Palpatine himself because they went over a lot of his stuff, and it makes him that much better of a character. Because in this book, it specifically talks about how he literally was so, bent on having his empire ran by him. When he falls, so does the empire. If it survives afterwards, he has Rax for one specific reason, and that's the contingency plan, which is take the entire empire to Jakku and destroy the fucking planet and have the New Republic destroy the empire. Because, the Emperor Palpatine, he doesn't want anyone to rule the empire without him. He is the ruler of the empire, no one else. And that's very cool. That's very... It sounds exactly like Palpatine, and I love that. I thought they were going to talk about how they would revive him like they would do in the old EU that we used to have, and I thought that would be kind of corny, but I do like the fact that it's just like, no, I'm doing... Rax basically did Palpatine's job of, he's the only one allowed to rule, and since he's gone, the whole empire is going to fall, whether you like it or not. And that's very cool. I did like that aspect of it. And now here's some kind of negatives of it. There's not much tension. There's not much tension because the fight is about to happen on Jakku. They made it where like, oh, is this fight gonna happen? No, it's gonna happen. The Battle of Jakku was gonna happen because you've seen Episode 7. My main problem with the story at the beginning, the first book, was shoving gay stuff down your throat, and I'm not trying to say I'm anti-gay or anything. I do not care if you're gay or not, but what really made me mad about this book, and I'm going to talk about both parts of this, is it was, in the very first book, it just shoved gay stuff down your throat. Like, my favorite character, Sinjir, is gay, and I don't care, but then, like, Timon's aunt was gay, and then there's some other characters in the first book that was gay. Like, every single other character was gay in the book. I'm like, all right, I get that people are gay in the world, but can you stop telling me about it all the time? That really got annoying. And this book kind of slowed down on that a lot, and it was really good. And seeing the gay connection between Condor and Sinjir was very nice because they're a couple, and I like them. I mean, they're a pretty decent couple in my opinion. They make me laugh, so I like that. And plus, Sinjir's my favorite character, so I'm biased towards that. One thing I did not like about this book that instantly brings it down for me was the fact that they were using neutral gender pronouns. There was characters in there with the ZHE or ZHER, Zir, Z, whatever the fuck. It's that whole gender neutral pronoun bullshit. It's fucking retarded, and it's really that's where this book series pissed me off, is because Chuck Wedding, I think is his name is, or Winding, I think Chuck Winding. Chuck himself is a cuck, basically. God damn it, Chuck. And he's showing a lot of the liberal side of, I guess, Star Wars or Disney, and I don't mind if you have a political side to this. If he was a conservative, I'd like him more because I am a conservative, but it pisses me off that he's shoving his political ideologies kind of into the book, and it's just annoying. If I write a book, I'm not going to talk about the wage gap and how it's not real, or I'm not going to talk about how gender neutrality isn't real and stuff like that. I wouldn't talk about that because you're not here to learn about that. You're here to learn about Star Wars, and I wish they would have stuck to that a little more instead of going into this kind of, in my opinion, I might be completely wrong, and completely comment and tell me if I'm wrong if you didn't see this at all, but I feel like he was kind of leading towards some of that liberal stuff that I personally do not like, and I found very annoying because I do not want politics inside my Star Wars, especially when it's real world politics. I don't mind Star Wars politics because it's fake, but when it comes to real world politics, that's where I kind of get frustrated. But besides the point, seeing the start of General Hux from Episode 7 was great. Him as a boy. The Battle of Jakku time ties in well with Episode 7, and the writing's okay. It's not that great. There was some stuff in there that, like, lines basically repeated itself. Some lines didn't make sense at all. it was an okay, it's an easy read, but it wasn't like an interesting read. You kind of got to push yourself to read the entire book. They killed off some characters at the end, and that was a little disheartening, but it wasn't too emotional because honestly, you don't really care about much of the characters in here in this book at all. And then my last complaint is that the book keeps talking about people biting or chewing their lips and making them bloody. That got really annoying real fast. And then they did it in the second one, but I know in this third one they kept talking about how like Timon was biting his lip and it went bloody. John did it, and then Sloane did it, then Nora did it, and then Rax did it. I was like, come on, what the fuck is going on here? Why is everyone biting their lips and it becomes bloody? That doesn't happen. That never happens. I've never seen anyone bite their lip and then their lip becomes bloody. Like that makes no fucking sense. But anyways, so yeah, that was kind of irritating. But other than that, the book was a solid read. If I was to give it a score, I would have to give it a 7 out of 10. And I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 because it wasn't oh my god, this is a good book, you have to read it. But it ties in well with the new Star Wars canon, and it gives you a sense of that mystery between, the 30 years between episode 6 and episode 7, it's fading away. And that's nice to see and actually touch on stuff. It had good Sith and Old Republic kind of stuff that it talked about. And so it's a solid read. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I recommend you read the whole entire trilogy, but I'm not going to tell you it's going to be pleasurable. I'm going to tell you straight up, it has its moments, and it's a decent series. It's a start for the new canon. It's not great, and if they continue to get better, this is probably going to be the worst trilogy in the new canon series, but it does its job pretty well. So, comment your thoughts below. Did you like this book series? Did you like Aftermath's end? Do you like how it basically ended the Empire and you actually get to see the fall and the rise of the Empire once again? Comment your thoughts below. I'm Star Wars Only. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time. May the Force be with you. Always.